We help contractors by the hundreds with all of the administrative burdens that surround handling their construction projects. That means helping them with Xactimate estimating, working with them on all the administration of their supplements, and doing the administrative services back office work that enables them to focus on selling, building, and billing.
We see contractors just starting off, maybe they're struggling with the fundamentals of running a construction business. They partner up with us, their process is now defined, they're able to grow their profit margins and actually scale because they're not held back with the burden of dealing with the supplementing process. I feel proud of what we've been able to do in this industry.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's going on, everybody? Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast. And hopefully the internet's going to be holding out okay today. I've changed some settings so we shouldn't have any problems today. Thanks as always to our sponsor, C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, Art of Supplement / Balance Claims. You guys probably saw the ads from there. They help make everything possible, especially in this time of a little bit more challenging time. So again, thanks to those guys. We're going to jump right into an upcoming event here. This is going to be today. We were talking about a little bit yesterday, but I know the video quality was a little lacking. So we have a happy hour, the virtual happy hour going on at 4 o'clock Central Time. It's going to be here on the Hail Trace page. It'll be a Zoom meeting that we're going to push through the program that I use to restream to everybody else. So come join that, ask other questions. I'm going to answer some basic things that Hail Trace has, which, you know, our 1 to 5 star ranking. We've got a lot of questions about what does and doesn't constitute a 1 to 5 star, how we exactly like name our maps and everything like that. And we'll talk about some of our wind products as well. You guys can jump in. Any questions you have, we'll answer. It'll be pretty laid back. It'll be myself and probably a couple of the other meteorologists kind of chatting and hanging out, talking about weather and possibly some other stuff too. So come join in on that. It's completely free. You just gotta pop in on the video. It'll pop up just like our daily videos do. So come join in there. Put in comments, questions you may have below now, and we can go ahead and answer. Try to think of stuff to answer them for later on this afternoon. So weather headlines, to jump straight into it. Looks like we have a chance. Whoa, we got some deja vu there. Hang on. My fingers are being fat and hitting the wrong arrow key. Sorry about that. Could there be a hail flirting with Kansas City tonight? It was in the title. Could be possible. I know a lot of folks are used to the past year or so of Kansas City not being super lucky, and that we may or may not have jinxed it a little bit. So maybe I'll just say it won't hail in Kansas City tonight. And then it looks like tomorrow and Saturday we have a chance for some hail and wind across southern plains and even to the Midwest, possibly even Chicago. Looking at some stuff for Saturday was kind of interesting for this time of year for the Chicago area, so we'll get into that a little bit. And finally, follow CDC guidelines, wash your hands, practice that social distancing. I know a lot of folks are kind of shutting down, but it looks like the roofing industry, more so than not, is considered an essential service. So as long as you practice that social distancing and just kind of follow the guidelines, everything should be a-okay. We got a big storm in there for everybody to go check out. How about that, huh? So here's your forecast for today. We're looking at here, we got a couple different color swaths for you. Got all the way up to that red for possible hail size. That's up to tennis ball size. And that's everywhere from just to the east of Wichita all the way to about Columbia, Missouri, just to the west of there. And that does include Kansas City. The most significant area is going to be where you have that chance up to upwards of tennis ball size hail. So places like Emporia, possibly even Topeka, Kansas City, further south, little towns like Chanute and other towns in there. Chanute was the only one I could name in southeastern Kansas. It's pretty good, I guess. And all the way to Columbia, and that's going to be tonight. This is not going to be a prime time, dinner time level event. This is going to be a lot of folks are going to be asleep. So probably a late night here for Hail Trace. All the more reason we have our happy hour about 4 o'clock. Probably won't be any severe weather going on then. There's also a chance we could see some storms even as far east as Indianapolis and Cincinnati. That's going to be through the early evening hours into tonight. And that could be more of the marginally severe hail variety. So that's like quarter, $half size hail, maybe, that pocket change level hail. Nothing too crazy, pretty low end risk there, but that chance is indeed there. The best chance, again, you got to see the little moderate risk levels, and that's going to be for Kansas City and Columbia. And then there's areas, I saw somebody asking about, man, you just put the Kansas City jinx on us. I mean, it could end up being south of them. That's a big, biggest concern I'd say for Kansas City is the activity happens to the south. So I guess I'll just say that's what's going to happen to not jinx it. And I think somebody asked about Jasper, Missouri. Maybe is Jasper's a little north of Joplin. I think Joplin, Springfield. Earlier this morning it was looking more likely, but now it's starting to look like everything shifted north, closer towards that area and towards Kansas City. So Kansas City forecast again. I know I'm jinxing it for you guys. Between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. So again, middle of the night level event. Don't worry, we got our guys on it in the event that something happens. We'll be covering it, and I'm not going anywhere. So as long as I get woken up, if it happens after I go to bed, we'll be here. We'll be doing live streaming of anything that goes on. And max hail size, up to tennis ball size hail in the strongest possible storms. Say a moderate chance of it being up to quarter size hail, and then a little slightly less likely chance of it being golf ball size hail or larger. So again, I know a lot of folks in the Kansas City area have been burned the last year, and we've been burned too quite a few times. We've had lots of activity. So again, possible between midnight and 3 a.m. For the love of God. Okay, this is for St. Joe. There we go. It's for St. Joe's, Missouri. This isn't for Kansas City. How about that for you guys? This is St. Joseph's. They actually probably have a better chance than Kansas City, honestly. Or no, actually it'd be south of them. Pick a town south of the Kansas City metro. We'll say this is what it's for. How about that? All right, so St. Louis. We got another St. Louis. We got 2 to 5 a.m. So again, overnight. So basically the storms are going to form near Kansas City. You're going to push to the east, go down I-70, and eventually be towards the St. Louis, Missouri area, heading towards daybreak tomorrow. So super long night probably for a few folks here at Hail Trace. Hopefully it's a super long night for a lot of us, because that means we're going to get a big storm, right? So we got up to golf ball size hail possible there. Storms probably be a little weaker by the time they get to the Kansas City area, or St. Louis area. God, I'm getting all screwed up on my Missouri cities now. A much lower chance. It's really got to be that storm has to be right in a boundary or really ripping and roaring to make it all the way to St. Louis. So lower chance, but an equivalent chance. If you have a big storm move through, it probably is going to have more than quarter size hail. So about equivalent chance. You're going to get storm. It'll get storm that makes hail. It'll likely have pretty big hail with it, just the way the dynamics are in place for tonight. And wind forecast. The wind forecast isn't as significant as the hail, so this is the main threat. The main threat is going to be hail tonight. So pretty low end chance across the board. I mean, you could get some gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour. It's a thunderstorm, tends to happen on the regular. So that's what we're looking at for the wind forecast. And there is your future radar. I unplugged my computer. Future radar showing. So here's storms forming well in the evening hours, and you see that explosion of activity after about midnight, and that's going to ride right along or near I-70, and then again major population centers, especially in the state of Missouri, all at risk. So this is what we'll be looking at for tonight. Again, we'll be here. We'll do any kind of live coverage if necessary. If we need to do it, we'll be here. We got everybody working from home, ready to roll in the event of any overnight activities. So do those hail dances, guys. Maybe we can break that curse. How about that, huh? So tomorrow, is a little more interesting. As you can see, we have a much higher chance for hail size for your Friday. That's right, we got all the way up to purple there for parts of Oklahoma and central Kansas. We could actually see some real big storms, and it's really going to come down to, will they form? So we have a strong cap in place. What does that mean exactly? It basically means it got a lid on the atmosphere. Storm tries to push up, it's got to push through the lid. Can we pop that lid off tomorrow? If we can, boom or bust. We've got big time storms. The instability is going to be there, the heat is there, everything's there for there to be some big storms. We just need to have it be strong enough for that storm to form, explode, and we could see upwards of baseball size hail in parts of Oklahoma tomorrow. And again, it would be 1, maybe 2 storms that form in this area. Boom or bust activity. So that's our low chance. There's a better chance further east towards like Tulsa, maybe Springfield, Joplin, that area. We could see some hail there, upwards of golf ball size, and then lower chance Kansas City, St. Louis again for tomorrow, possibly going to the overnight hours. So that's what we're looking at for Friday. You can see here in the forecast models showing that future radar. A couple storms form in the afternoon and evening hours, and this particular one doesn't have anything too crazy towards Oklahoma City. So this is going to be really just looking at the dynamics of the situation. If we get something, it could be pretty big. Never know, this is that time of year where all it takes is one little bird fart or something to make a big storm go on. So hopefully it's a boom, guys. We want boom. So looking beyond to Saturday, yeah, that's Chicago in the risk. Shockingly, when we were looking at the models, it's a dry line risk of anything. You don't see dry line risks too often in Illinois. Usually it's the low pressure system or something else that kick off storms.